Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers War for Cybertron Voyager class Rhinox, aka WFC-K27. You can see him there in his Rhino mode. Put that off to the side because we're going to look at the box real quick, which, yep, it is a Kingdom Voyager box. You got Transformers and Kingdom and a bit of a very angry looking charging Rhino and everything right there. You got Generations and Jakar Tomy, Hasbro's down there and all that stuff. On this part right here, you have, of course, Rhinox doing his thing. You know, it's just, I guess, wielding his chain guns of doom, Voyager class, down there. On the top, of course, you have the Maximal symbol and some golden disc bits. On this side, of course, you have the line-wide artwork and authentic Transformers and all that stuff. Here, on this bottom here, you have the manufacturing warning, copyrights, and all that stuff. Well, on the bottom or back, you have, of course, the product shots and more copyrights and warnings. In the box, of course, you have the instructions, which, yeah, the instructions. They kind of just gloss over some stuff, and there's some uncomfortable bits in the transformation. I find that namely stuff like of the set of I'm squeezing things past other things. Why am I doing this on a mainline figure? And of course, a new card with this one. I don't think I have yet. Megatron, yeah, the Decepticons, and yeah, I peeled back and you got Galvatron. If my hand's out of the way, yeah, Galvatron, Megatron, it makes sense. Pretty neat. That I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. There's a bunch of stickers and there's a lot of duplicates now, so I don't know. Yeah, Rhinox. As you can see, he is a Rhino. And kind of a squat looking Rhino. This is not quite accurate. This is actually, if anything, if I recall, this is, did not have the original toy because for some reason I didn't have a lot of the actual people in the appear on the show. I had a lot of those other ones that just, you know, didn't appear on the show, but go figure. Anyway, you can see he's kind of a squat looking Rhino. I don't think this is quite super right. I mean, this is more along the lines of the old toy and everything, which is weird considering they're going for the whole more realistic animal thing for this line. So I don't know. Yeah, you can see he's very drab, this grayish brown color, except with some bits of green because transformation. He's got little red eyes, little spots here on the front and going to the back. He's got a little tail molded in, and yeah. Also the bottom, you can see a lot of robot mode stuff, and there's his guns. It once much like the old Generations. I think there's also the same thing with that same case with the original toy. Again, not sure. Didn't have it, but chain guns can store down there. You can see his robot head there, but shh, don't talk about it. His mouth can open. You got little bits of silver teeth there. That's kind of neat. Yeah, articulation in this mode. There's really not a whole lot. His shoulders can do this, but then you're exposing green bits, and also that one's floppy. This one's not. I guess kind of move forward a bit, but then yeah, you kind of get stopped by the sculpting unless you start doing that, and even then it's like I guess this can rotate. You can rotate there, and these can bend inward, I guess. So I guess he's scheming like in Beast Machines. Back here you got this is all ball joint, but like it can only really go inward, and you can't even rotate it. And you can maybe go a little. You can go a little bit back and a little bit forward, and yeah, it's articulation's kind of lacking, to be honest. Looks all right, but yeah. This is a point of comparison, though. Here he is with the Generations Rhinox, which is much more realistic in his rhino-ness, I guess. You can see that. Yeah, you can see this. The general shape of this one is much closer to an actual rhino. So I'm not sure what the heck happened to this one, if they're particularly since they're going with the whole more realistic animal thing. Although this guy's got more of a, I guess, realistically colored horn, because I don't think most rhinos have very white horns. You can see that, yeah, but you can see the, no, this one kind of has also some robot bits exposed, whatnot, but yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, mine's signed, because, got the wrong one. Got this one signed by the original, the voice actor, you know, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, kind of a brick of a alt mode, to be honest. Not the worst case in the world. In fact, he actually hides most of his robot stuff pretty well, but kind of disappointing in a way. Oh, I guess his head can do this a little bit, but again, you don't really have a whole lot of range there. So, woo! Transformation. And I don't really like this transformation, honestly. It's kind of annoying. First thing you want to do, actually, though, is take these flaps and pop these open like that. And then let's see if you'll separate this stuff a little bit. You want to, this is more or less when you want to get the chain guns out of the way. You want to separate these off and unpeg these and just get the chain guns out of the way. Just get them out. Just try and get them out. They're in the way otherwise. Get them out of the way, and then get ready for annoyance. I found that first I wanted to kind of push this in. This untabs this piece instead of anything on this side. Push this part in so it untabs. And then you want to take the legs here, and this is going to be annoying. You want to kind of lift this up a little bit, this front part. You want to lift that up a little bit so you can then take these and start unfolding them. This will untab them from this bit. But you can't unfold them too far because then you also have to take this and bend this inward. And this is the part, you have to squeeze this past this part because otherwise it doesn't work. You have to squeeze this past this part so this can unfold like that. And if you can, also get these up and out of the way once you do that. Like get this bit up and out of the way. That's just skipped over in the instruction. They don't tell you anything about these parts. And yeah, move these outward as much as you can. Do the same thing on this side. Get that up and out of the way. Get this moved this way. And then unfold this and get that out of the way so they have room. Anyway, from there you want to take this, rotate this around 180. It's like this. You want to move this up like this, rotate it around 180, and then fold it into the leg. Take this piece right here, untab it, bring it down like that, and tab it into itself like that. Then this right here, this is the robot foot. You want to untab this and rotate it out like this and bring it down and rotate it like that. And then you go ahead and take this whole leg and this collapses into like that. Like so, you're going to go ahead and straighten the leg out. Then this part folds in and this thing tabs in there right there and actually tabs right there. And it's one leg done. The legs are the most annoying part, honestly, but it's just, and on top of that, you probably want to go ahead and take they don't tell you to do this, but take these front legs and move them out like that just to get them out of the way. Again, right here, you want to take this leg, move it up, rotate it 180, and then fold it in, take this, untab this, bring it down, and tab it into itself like so. Take this foot, untab it, and this is, again, you're squeezing things past other things, which is really scary and annoying. You bring it out, bring that down like there, and then bring it back up. You go ahead and take this part and collapse it in, take this piece and collapse that in, and then take that and tab that in like so, and there you go. And then you take these pieces right here, the thighs here, and just slide them back a bit. Not too far, but just a bit, because you don't want to expose that thing. In fact, this is, I don't think it's supposed to be able to slide that far back, but yeah, just kind of slide them to the side like that. And you kind of want to bring these back down a bit, just to get them out of the way for a second. Yeah, so then you want to take this piece and move the rhino head and stuff. And weirdly enough, you want to take this the mouth and push it up into the jaw. Yeah, move this up and out of the way so these can clear these pits right here, this right there, because then you can unfold this and then move the arm out like that, and then rotate the arm down. And then this piece right here, you can go ahead and move up like that. Same thing on this side. Rotate this forward, rotate this part out, rotate it around like this, and then take this piece and move that up like that. Go ahead and rotate the head around, like so. Then you take this piece and you slide this out, unfold this, and then it'll tab right back into the chest, like that. You take this and go ahead and collapse this all the way down against the back, like that. And the final step is rotate at the elbow, rotate those around, and then take the forearms, open them up, rotate the wrists, rotate these at the wrist, rotate the hands out, and then close up the forearms. Same thing, open that up, rotate this around, close up the forearm, and there you go. There's Rhinox in his robot mode. Yeah, I think this is where things largely improve. The alt mode's weird that he doesn't necessarily look bad. It's just kind of a brick, and the transformation's like kind of frustrating in a way. Like, it should not be frustrating, just because most of the frustration comes from, why do I have to squeeze parts past other parts? Why is this all this feel like it was designed by a third party company, not Hashtag? But honestly, I think the robot mode looks actually mostly pretty good here. I don't know, some people are kind of upset about that. I get it. That is kind of makes him look, well, not as beefy as the front would lead you to believe. His head is also another point of contention. It's it's kind of not quite right. I think they based it off of on that mobile game instead of the show, so it's kind of off. But overall, I think it actually looks good. It just it depends whether or not you can deal with that. Again, this isn't actually not so bad. It just looks worse than it actually is. This is largely because of the transformation. But he's actually, good solid up here. It's just right here at the shoulder area is where things get a little weird, just because of the transformation itself. Transformation itself is what makes his shoulders all wonky, I guess. And the transformation is what makes his shoulders wonky, so that kind of upsets people. It makes it look actually worse than it is. Yeah, his legs are also a little kind of weird for a lot of people. A lot of people don't really like the legs, but I think they're fine for the most part. Just the only thing is like right here, you got that big old gap there, but it's not the end of the world personally. This is more accurate. This is pretty accurate to show the big old. It's a fake part, but he does have the weirdly wide rhino jaw on his chest, which you kind of have to fake to make that viable. The chain guns. That's the other thing. The chain guns are kind of pegged together real well. They're small. I mean, they're actually literally just because this is one of those things. I think the thing was the shape of. Rather than storing the alt mode, that kind of dictated the fact that these are going to be kind of empty and tiny looking from the back, which is unfortunate. But the pegging nice and solid, at least. So from the front, they look good. So just look at them from the front. But yeah, it's got just a little weird things that are just somewhat annoying, I think. The other thing, of course, actually they can store elsewhere if you want. You can also store them. Back here, there's little pegs here that's actually official. You can store them back here like that if you want. There's also pegs here for other stuff, like the fossilizers and whatnot, but peg holes on the bottom of the feet. He's actually missing a lot of peg holes. Yeah. I think overall he looks good. It's just you got these little details that might annoy some people if they want a good Rhinox. Because the other thing is the Generations Rhinox has its own sets of problems which people have to deal with, and so it's like it's one of those kind of like pick your poison, which is more important to you. Yeah, I think he looks pretty decent. Again, the nice bit of gold and silver here, and the gold accents and green and whatnot. It just the colors at least are right. Again, chain guns actually have some nice silver and gold here too, so that's nice. Head, ball joint, so left right, a little bit up and down, bit of wiggle. Shoulders on these hinges, so you can go all the way around and go outward, and because of the transformation, you got a pretty good butterfly joint, although mine is really loose, so I want to tighten that up. But yeah, it's just kind of loose, but it does exist, which is not common for a mainline toy. Biceps can swivel right there, so there's that. Elbows, you got just about 90 degrees. I guess the shape of the elbow is a little weird. Unfortunately, no wrist swivel. Waist can swivel. That's always a little hindered by, just the general sculpting, but not enough. I think it's a problem, but yeah, he's got a waist. Hips, you got forward about that far, back about that far before it's banging into that, although you can move it outward and then boom, you got a lot of range. Outward, actually, about that far before this starts banging into that stuff. You got a thigh swivel right here. Knees are technically double jointed, although you kind of have to find that sweet spot to get the full range. But yeah, they are double jointed. But again, because of the size of the shin here, you only get so much range right there. And then you got ankle tilt can go outward that far, and because of transformation stuff, you do have a bit of back, although not forward because of sculpting, unfortunately. So the big thing for me is just These shoulders are loose. Everything about these almost everything about their shoulders except for the outward and the butterfly are both way looser than I like. But everything else is tight. It's just those little shoulders. So gotta fix that. Yeah. Point of comparisons though. First off, here's Generations Rhinox. He's a bit shorter, you can see. His head's more correct, but everything else that's more stylized. And also, of course, it's like many of them, although I'm glad he's standing now, but tends to like to fall over a bit. But yeah, so he's technically a little more show accurate in many ways, although he's got some... It's one of those things where if you mix and match pieces of them, you'll get something closer to show accurate, but at the same time, it's like one of those things, unfortunately. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, each of them only have some show accuracy, and the rest is kind of like they took liberties, for better or for worse. To kind of, again, pick your poison, which one's better for you. You might want to, I don't know, on that. And more comparisons, well, the Maximals. I'm going to move them back a bit just to try to get them all in shot. Yeah, that's all the Maximals so far. The only one we're actually missing of the season 1 cast is Tigertron, who we know is coming soon-ish. But yeah, for the most part, he looks pretty good. He's taller than Optimus like he's supposed to be, but probably not as tall as much taller. He and Dynamite, I believe, were actually somewhere in the neighborhood of the same height back in the day, although I think Dynamite might have been a bit taller, but Rhinox wasn't that much shorter. But yeah, they look good together, and I'm quite happy with that. I just wish there's more Predacons. And I also wish we were actually getting Inferno, but we're not. At least not anytime soon. But I hope they fix that. Yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with this. It may not be 100% accurate, but I think it looks good. As is. That's the whole team there. Oh, almost the whole team. I'll be quite pleased when I'll be like, I'm going to go reviewing Tigertron. There's the shot. There's the shot. One final bit of comparison here he is with Earthrise Optimus, because, yep, just gotta show him off. And, yep, he's a bit shorter than him, but I like the scale matters in this regard. So, yeah, Kingdom Rhinox here, kind of a mixed bag. His alt modes kind of looks all right, not quite accurate to a real Rhino, and also very much a brick. His transformation is kind of frustrating and annoying because of the stuff doesn't move like the way you'd hope it would move. Robot modes, I think it looks fine, but at the same time, it does have some inaccuracies to the show if that's what you're looking for. I think the head sculpt's not bad, but it is definitely not quite what it should be. And mine also has a couple loose joints here and there, but nothing too bad. If in the choice between him and the Generations Rhinox, it's kind of a half. For me, it's like 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. It really comes down to which bothers you more, which faults bother you more. Because with Generations Rhinox, you have to fix the fact that almost every single one of them have super loose hips, so he has a tendency to just fall over. And but that's fixable. And this on mine, it's like if it's a sculpting issue, if it's an accuracy issue, the problem is they both are inaccurate to the show. And yeah, so it comes down to that really. Just pick one, whichever you like better, just pick that one, and you probably will be happy with it, honestly, in the end. So yeah, he's fine, but I personally like him, but I can understand why people might want to skip this guy and just keep their Generations Rhinoxes. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this and found it informative and entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter at my Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my Patreon and check out my coffee. And I shall see you next time with another video review.